We welcome you to Paul Sixth High School for our third of 4 games this afternoon. It's the Lawrence Cardinals and the Bellmawr Purple Eagles. Bellmawr, of course, represented, I've said it like a broken record, but they're represented in all 4 divisions today. So some of the folks who showed up here at 9 a.m. are going to be here all the way until the sun sets. A pocket of sunshine coming out here on a brisk Saturday afternoon. It's 53 degrees, which is the high today here in Bellmawr. Lawrence lining up for their second game. Even though Lawrence is occupying the visiting sideline, they are actually the home team for this game. This is the one game out of the 4 where Bellmawr is the away team, as Lawrence has not allowed a single point this year. Bellmawr would certainly like that to change, as they've outscored their opponents in the prior 2 divisions 47-0. Now 54-0, as they put up 35-0 versus Northern Burlington and 18-0 versus the 10U Lawrence Cardinals. But now in the 12U division, we've got 2 teams that are at the top of their game. Bellmawr, the 2 seed at 7-1. Lawrence, the 1 seed, undisputed at 8-0. They didn't allow a single point in the regular season. They did not allow a single point in the playoffs. 28-0 both times. Grand total of 56-0. They shut out Pemberton. They shut out Haddon Township. And Bellmawr, they also had an easy route. They beat Pittman in the first round of the playoff, 34-6, and they beat Northern Burlington in the second round, 25-6. But from here on out, it's 1v2. Bellmawr, the 2 seed, versus Lawrence, the 1, and then Hopewell Valley, the 2 seed, versus Bellmawr, the number 1, in the 160-pound game. Lawrence getting ready to come out to the field, the Arizona Cardinals flag waving proudly on the sideline of Lawrence. And again, don't let it fool you. Even though Lawrence is lined up on the visitor sideline, they will be represented as a home team in this 125-pound game. I'm Dan Wilkins. Ben Wilden is producing these 3 and 4 games today. Big thanks to Javier Harris. That was his first action on DWB. So I'm glad that he was able to come out today on a brisk Saturday morning. Hands are getting a little bit cold. Some of the fans here have hot chocolate, either hot chocolate or coffee. They got something going on, but something to keep them warm. It's only 53 degrees, and as the cloud cover continues to increase, it's only going to get dimmer and darker and cooler as we go along. The Lawrence Cardinals and the Bellmawr Purple Eagles ready to go. That's the score carried over from the last game, 18-0. Bellmawr will kick off. Lawrence will receive. As we mentioned, there's a pocket of sunshine out there in the clouds of Paul Sixth High School. We've been here since about 8:30 this morning. It's going to be a long work day for not only these Bellmawr coaches, but for us ourselves, as the Purple Eagles will kick this one off. Looks like they've got a lineman out there to kick it. That is number 69, Dante Vanell. And Vanell with a powerful kick goes over the head of the Cardinals. It'll be returned by number 53, Aurelio Ortiz. Gets a big hit. I think that was that the kicker? I think Vanell might have picked up the tackle that time, but either way, they'll pick up the tee, return it to the sideline, and we've got Lawrence ball from their own 45 to start this drive and to start the ball game. Loving the crowd sound we've picked up today. We recently picked up this Saramonic boom microphone, which has been really good at picking up crowd noises and making this sound like a professional broadcast. So we hope you're noticing the difference at home. I know some people like to watch DWB on their giant smart TVs with surround sound, and I want to accommodate as many people as we can when we were doing DWB coverage here, as the rush, handoff by number 11, Kamau Lee, and the handoff to number 5, Noble Rogers, gets a gain of 3, and it'll be at the 48-yard line on the right hash. Again, Lawrence is going to be a pounding offense. If you combine their regular season and playoff points, it's 146 in the regular season, 56 in the playoffs. They've scored 202 points, all of them unanswered. The rush gets a couple of yards, but a penalty flag is on the play. Flag came in from the near sideline. Might have a hold here. I think that might have been on the right guard from what I could tell. They will wave off the flag. So no infraction, and we will remain, it looks like 3rd and 5. I think this is going to be, well, that ref's standing a little bit over midfield. They're going to line this one up from the 49-yard line. So a gain of 3 on back-to-back plays. And now the Cardinals set up looking to convert on 3rd and mid-range. Kind of fumbled the snap a little bit. He's able to stay on his feet. It's Lee, left side, hands to the face, down. That's close. Look at the first down marker. It's at the 45. Let's see where Lee was. 4th down by inches, maybe. They're going to, I think that's a generous spot there. I mean, it's hard to tell. There were a whole bunch of Bellmawr helmets standing over the sideline, so it's always difficult to tell where a QB or a runner goes down. But I don't know if I really agree with that spot there. I think that was a lot closer than it is. First down markers at the 45. Lawrence lines up from the 46, looking to avoid a turnover and looking to make a statement for a team that has been nearly flawless this season. Although I should say, if you haven't allowed a single point, do I dare say that you have been flawless? 202-0 is the aggregate. Lee, handoff, ball came out right on top of the goal, right on top of the line of scrimmage, and the Purple Eagles take over. So flawless no more as Lawrence with a turnover, and Bellmawr in the one game where they can prop themselves up as underdogs, they'll take over from their own 45. They would have had that, too, if they hung onto the ball. The turf definitely starting to dry up from the overnight rain. I mean, it's 2:10 right now. You're probably expecting that this is – it's going to be pretty standard. I don't think it's going to be too big of a deal. First and 10. From the 45-yard line, Bellmaur's first snaps on offense. They send Zandre Edwards in motion. Handoff to Edwards, gets about 6 yards up to the 49, across the 50. Handoff was by the quarterback, Michael Kenny Jr., who is commanding the offense for the Purple Eagles. Purple Eagles also led by an honorary captain on the sideline today. He's in the black hoodie over there, Nicholas Riccardi, number 1, who is not playing today, but he led the team out onto the field as we were transitioning between broadcasts for the Purple Eagles. Great story that he's okay. They sent a man in motion. Kenny, handoff. Right side, enough for a first down. Tackled by number 44. I don't have a 44. His jersey's real scrunched up. Might be number 53, Jaden Castro. It is enough for a first down. Easily, they get up to the 43.
Throw it deep to Mike Kenny.
Whistles. It's going to be an infraction against the Cardinals. Neutral zone there.
First and 5.
So first and 5, they'll spot this one at the 38-yard line. Just about 3.5 minutes down into the first quarter. Bellmawr, single back, trying to barrel it forward with Edwards. That was actually number 5, Rocco Colucci on the carry. And they were able to get another 5 yards. This could very well be a battle of the lines, but I wouldn't be surprised if there is a eruption of cheering in the Bellmawr crowd if they get a touchdown on them, because, again, that would be like a geyser finally starting to break, with Lawrence having scored 200-plus points across the regular season and the first two playoff games versus Pemberton and Oak Lynn, or check that, Pemberton and Haddon Township. And now Bellmawr already driving, looking like they've done this before. 1st and 10 from the 34. Edwards rolling out to the right, wrestled to the ground. A big tackle by number 20, Lennon Gaines. Well, there wasn't a lot of gaining done on that play. It is 2nd and long as Lawrence picked up a big stop that time. Lennon Gaines, I mean, if he had held on a little bit longer, that might have been penalty worthy, but Bellmawr just kind of at Lawrence's feet right now. It's a loss of 6. Now it's 2nd and 16 as a massive rush by Zandre Edwards comes up empty. First down marker is at the 24-yard line. 2nd and 16. They send the man in the Guardian cap in motion. They hand it off up the – no, they fake the handoff, and another tackle from the back. Hesitancy hurts the Eagles as a tackle made by number 82, Corey Balcom. He would have had a lot more room if he had not tried to stop at his tracks and redirect. Especially at this 12U level, these kids are getting quicker and quicker and quicker, and there's just no time to stop. You just have to go and go and go. And honestly, when you get to the 12U level, you're going to see these teams use the field a lot more. You saw Bellmawr and Lawrence really just kind of keep it in the hashes in that second game. You're not going to see that. You're going to see the evolution of football.
Let's go!
No whistles. Lawrence readjusts on the line. Bellmar's head coach, you can see him on the bottom, puts his hand up in the air next to the side judge. He wanted a flag, didn't get it. Refs are now counting down. They send Edwards in motion, right to left. Now the QB will readjust. They don't have a lot of time. There's a lot of miscommunication, and Bellmawr will talk things over. Timeout, first of the day for the Purple Eagles with 3:38 to play in the first. We will also take a timeout. No score as Lawrence looking to stand tall on defense. We'll be right back. Timeout called by Bellmawr. 3rd and long. They got a handful of yards, but nothing more. Dropping back. Kenny Jr. rolls out to the right. He's going to look to pass. Gets hit as he throws deep in double coverage. Too much mustard on it, and it's incomplete. Quarterback got lit up that time as Kenny Jr. goes down without a completion. And again, that head coach in the backwards cap pleading to Michael Kenny Jr. Seems like a little miscommunication there. He was in double coverage to his receiver downfield. I couldn't tell who he was going for, but leading the way on the defensive coverage was Lennon Gaines and number 23 in Tyon Cherry. The funny thing is, when you cover enough youth football games and you see a handful of programs back-to-back, you see the same last name of a player from the last game that was significant. In our case, it was Tymir Cherry. And now you've got on the coverage Tyon Cherry. Here's another open shot. Caught, hit hard, and the ball came out. Incomplete, turnover on downs, Cardinals ball. So close. It looked like that was number 44, Billy Lynn, who was targeted on the receiving. Honestly, that wasn't even a bad pass. It was a little bit over his head, and maybe if you're at the high school level, that catch gets made. But honestly, still a valiant effort for the 12-year-olds And Lynn comes up empty. Turnover on downs. Lawrence with a chance to drive. 3:24 left in the first. So 2 incompletions in a row by Michael Kenny Jr. Now a free rush. Right side. Look out below. Points number 3. 208. Into the end zone. Waltzing in. And a late flag comes down, but it was after he crossed into the end zone for number 12, Bryant Council. And now let's see what the Council of Referees have to say. It's a hold. That flag came in super late. It was at the 44-yard line. It was dropped as Council crossed into the end zone. So this is going to come back. I don't know what happened there, but that was a very late flag to call. And with this being 10 yards at the spot of the foul, so it must not have been too far up. It's going to be now 1st and 5, almost like a false start penalty, or I'm sorry, an offside penalty. Lined up from the 45-yard line. 3:11 to play in the first quarter, but Lawrence, they would have had a fantastic start to this game with a 60-yard rush by Bryant Council, but instead it gets called back, and we're almost back to where we started. Another rush. Council again. Coast to coast, look out! Sideline! Edwards rips him to the ground, and he's inbounds at the 40. Big rush by the Cardinals that time as they're able to come up with a little redemption, a gain of 15. And Lawrence has a first down at the 40. The clock will run because they said Council was inbounds. Honestly, I give huge props to Bryant Council there. Had 60 yards that didn't count for anything because of the hold. And now he's able to pick up 15 on his own terms. I mean, these kids got a lot of stamina. That's the great thing about youth football is that these kids can just keep going and going and going. They've got a lot of heart. Handoff up the middle. Another stop by the Purple Eagles. Rush looked like it was by Noble Rogers. The stop by number 7, Tommy Lego. That'll be a gain of 3. And now whistles on the field for a timeout by the Lawrence Cardinals. We'll take a quick break. 2 minutes and change to play in the first quarter. It's the Eagles 0 and the Cardinals 0. No score, 2:03 to play in the first quarter. I'm Dan Wilkins. Ben Wilden is joining me on the production. Again, big thanks to Javier Harris for joining us for the first 2 games in which Bellmawr outscored their opponent 54-0. Pitch back on second and mid-range. It's Balcom up for a handful of yards. He's about a yard short at the 30. Line to gain is at the 29. And Balcom had a nice rush to the right after Lee's pitchback. And they're about a yard short. This Bellmawr crowd's going to get loud in a second for this third down stop. And they'll need it with how good Lawrence has been this year. Just looking at the records. Again, I haven't seen Lawrence in person or on film this year. But the numbers, they don't lie. And it's 3rd and 1. Lawrence lining up with a receiver on each side. They send Givens in motion. Left to right. Lee, handoff to Balcom again. Same song. This time, first down. Hit hard. A lot of shoulder-to-shoulder contact there. Like I said, we said in the 10U game there were a handful of Lawrence and Bellmawr players that got shaken up, and I said it was partially a result of the kids don't really have a restraint for how hard they can hit yet. It's almost like they don't know their own strength. at the 12U level, they've matured enough to know how hard they can hit somebody without hurting them while still, kind of laying down the law, laying down the standard of what it should be. Because the coaches will tell you to hit 110%, but only the players know how hard they can actually get away with or how hard they can get before, they put somebody in deep trouble. So I'm liking the fact that these kids are hitting hard, but hitting legally. From the 24-yard line, 1st and 10, a ragdoll forward as Lawrence is going to fall on this one for a gain of 2, and that's going to bring us to the end of the first quarter as no score after 1. This could either be a low-scoring affair or we could have some fireworks in the cloudy skies of Haddonfield this afternoon as the clock hits triple zeros at Paul Six High School. It's the Purple Eagles 0 and the Cardinals 0. They'll have a long walk back to the opposing 20, and we'll take a quick break here from Major Timothy Curry Field. All right, go ahead. Welcome back to Haddonfield, New Jersey at Paul Six High School for a crossover between Mercer counties and Camden counties as breaking through into the 10-yard line. And talk about laying down the law. Bellmawr just did that big hit, Dominic Accardo. They're at the 9-yard line. The chain gang on the opposite side will drop the sticks, and it'll be 1st and goal. But Bellmawr has already put 2 rings on their fingers today. In the 8U championship, they beat Northern Burlington 35-0. And they beat Lawrence in the 10U championship by a score of 18-0. So Bellmawr has not allowed any points yet on this field ever since they started play at 10 a.m. today. Lawrence looking to change it. Rush over the middle again, diving forward. Ball might have come out. Bellmaur's sideline looking at it. Lawrence has the ball. Gain of 6 on the play. Those 2 rushes by Noble Rogers, number 5. And Lawrence now on the doorstep. They're inside the 5 at the 4-yard line. Lawrence having to travel upwards of 45 minutes to get here from Mercer County. Bellmawr, well, if you're familiar with this area, right around the corner from their home field at the Bellmawr Recreational Center on Bell Road.
Let's go, Debo!
Minute and a half down in the second quarter. From the 4-yard line, Lawrence looking to back Bellmawr up as far as they can, and the Cardinals looking to get into the end zone. Rush, delayed handoff, and moving forward. No gain on that play. As a rush that time, couldn't tell the number. That's number 22, or maybe that's number 32, Aaron Ingram. Bellmawr with another defensive stop, still sticking on the right hash for the same song and the second verse and the second play of this conundrum. 3rd and goal from the 4. As we said, Lawrence has not allowed, I'm going to say it like a broken record because it's the first time I've ever seen a team that's gone 10 weeks from when we started play on Labor Day weekend to the weekend before Thanksgiving. How do you not let a single team score? Never seen it before. But Lawrence looking to set the standard. QB keeper up the middle and dancing into the end zone, diving forward ahead of the plane. Touchdown, Lawrence. as it's the first time that the Purple Eagles today have allowed a score. And it comes in from a QB rush of, looks like Bryant Council with the direct snap. Took it himself for 4 yards. And the Cardinals are on the board. Now, they did have somebody as a field goal kicker with a tee down attempting a kick, and they're going to try it. Or I thought they were. They're not. They had somebody in warm-ups who was hitting from about 25 yards out. Remember, now that we're in 12U, it is 1 point regardless if you rush or pass. It is only 2 points if you kick. Oh, and how about this for some trickery? They're making us all confused. They're going to try to kick it. We were all zoomed in because we thought that this was easily going to be a 1 point attempt. They're going to go for 2. The wind is relatively calm today. From Zaire Campbell. It's up, away, and good. An 8-point play. A 2-point kick by Zaire Campbell. Tyon Cherry on the hold. As let's take a look at that replay that got them in the end zone in the first place before we go to a quick break. It's Bellmawr 0, Lawrence 8. An 8-point play here at Paul Sixth High School, followed or preceded by this 4-yard rushing score. Go ahead. Lawrence 8, Bellmawr 0. It's funny, we covered a crossover game between Haddon Township and Eastern in a game that was a pretty interesting one. It was a Turkey Bowl crossover between two teams that had missed the playoffs in their respective leagues, Eastern in the TCUFL, Haddon Township in the WJYFL. And I remember there was a game where there was a play where there was a pick six. Eastern scored, crowd went crazy, but they went even crazier for the 2-point kick. You could hear all those air horns and all those sirens, all the cheers from the Lawrence sideline as they convert on an 8-point play and make this the Cardinals 8 and the Purple Eagles 0 here from Paul VI High School. This will be sent away. A boot. Oh, wow, this is going to roll. Is this going to go into the end zone? They're going to pick it up at the 3. Now he bobbles it, but he's in the end zone. Now he's on his feet. He's down at the 3-yard line. That's trouble for Bellmawr. I was saying this is going to be the toughest challenge that Bellmawr has faced all day so far across all 3 of their divisions. I mean, if you're that returner, I would honestly just let that roll into the end zone unless you don't have any other choice. It would be a rare touchback. And now Bellmawr has they have dug themselves a hole on offense here. They're going to line this up at the 3-yard line. And Lawrence's defense has had several tackles for loss. So Bellmawr will have to keep a sharp eye out for that out for the Lawrence defense. It's funny. We talked about how Lawrence didn't do the best job of closing up the A-gaps on defense in the 10U game. Now they're doing a fantastic job of closing up the A-gaps in the 12U game. But when you have different coaches, different philosophies, play schemes, offensive and defensive schemes can change drastically from one level of team to the next. Hand off to the left side. Look at this one. Here comes Andre Edwards. Big hit down at the 15. Bryant Council comes up with the stop that time. And talk about Bellmawr getting out of that hole pretty quickly. They're still not out of the woods yet by any means, but they do get a first down on the first play from scrimmage in that drive. And they bring this one up for a gain of 15 yards, up to the 16, now they're saying the 17-yard line. So it's going to be a gain of 14 yards. I mean, that is extremely commendable there from Zandre Edwards. When you see that full field ahead of you and you know that you have 97 yards to go, you don't see that a whole lot in youth football. A lot of times these drives start and end right around midfield as the rush will get taken down for a gain of 2, now inside their own 20. But again, you just don't see a lot of touchbacks in youth football. And they would have been at the 20 if they let it roll. But it seems like Bellmawr is willing to be content with that now that they have made up the difference. If that drive stalled out inside their own 5, I'm sure they would have been thinking in hindsight terms, but instead it's more or less a wash now because they wouldn't have gotten, I don't think, the best return anyway, regardless, with all of those bounces. Lawrence gets a big tackle that time. And again, slowly but surely here for Bellmawr. Not moving too quickly, not moving too fast. That seems like a bit of a generous spot. This is going to bring him to 3rd down and 3. 3rd and 4, rather, from the 25. Line to gain is in between the 27 and 28. Third and short, halfway through quarter number 2 here at Paul Sixth High School. Major Timothy Curry Field. A lot of vocals on the offensive line. They send a man in motion. Lawrence saying to watch the pass. They rush. That's going to be enough for a first down. Bellmawr. And Lawrence not thrilled there.
Hello, everybody. We have an iPhone at the concession stand. It's a blue iPhone with a black case. Come and retrieve it.
Some of you are watching around at home. There's an iPhone that was lost at the concession stand, one of the newer ones with the black case. So I know there's a couple people sometimes who watch our games from their car. Like sometimes if their team's not playing or if they're on the way, whatever it may be, I try to relay those messages in case somebody happens to hear it. 1st and 10 from the 27-yard line. We've got movement. Or actually, we didn't even have any movement, just kind of a stalling out play there. And it'll line up from the 27 again, so 2nd and 10. Don't forget, after a much-needed 2 days off, we will be back in action on Tuesday, November 25th. For our last JUCO basketball game of the month, we've got Thaddeus Stevens and the Bulldogs versus the RCSJ Gloucester Roadrunners at 6 p.m. in a men's basketball standalone from the Roadrunner Gym in Deptford, New Jersey. And then Thanksgiving Day football, the 100th matchup between the Pittman Panthers and the Clayton Clippers. It's the hot talk of the town, and it might be one of the most consequential games in that rivalry's history as a pass incomplete over the right side. Intended for, it looked like, it's a little bit hard to read those jersey numbers. It's number 44, Billy Lynn. He was targeted for a pass earlier. As it'll now be 3rd and 10. But there's only 7 Thanksgiving Day traditional games still around in South Jersey. One of them is on this field this year, Paul Sixth versus Camden Catholic. My alma mater, Audubon versus Haddon Township. They play on WIP 94.1 on Wednesday. While we would have wished to be there, we do wish the best to those 2 schools because there are financial incentives to both athletic departments that I'm not coughing up $6,000. I don't even have $6,000. Bellmawr calls a timeout as, again, they just had a lot of miscommunication on the offensive line during these last couple of plays, and they'll now try to reset on a crucial 3rd and 10. 3:30 to play in the second quarter. Bellmawr has 2 timeouts remaining. We'll take a quick break. 3rd and 10, Bellmawr regroups after a timeout. They have 2 remaining. Lawrence is all for. Pass on the right side. It's caught by Zandre Edwards, but Lawrence is all over it, and they stop it. A gain of 1. Coming up with the tackle is number 33, being Jamal Bonhomme. And remember, in the 12U, there's no punt option, so the kids got to rip off the Band-Aids, and they got to learn about special teams. If they do go to punt, Corey Balcom looks like he's going to return, or are they going to play 2 high safeties in case? Yeah, I think Lawrence is playing a really, really safe strategy here, and Balcom and Council are actually going to switch sides. They're down to 10 seconds now. Bellmawr doesn't have a lot of time. Michael Kenny is still on the sideline. He's now going out, and now we have whistles again.
Looks like they're going to select the punt option.
Oh, they do have the punt option. I apologize. I was told that went away after the 10U. I apologize. So that'll be. So what they did there is they took off as much time as they can with the clock running, and now that the ball is spotted, it's going to be 2:11. So they basically took a minute off the clock. I apologize. I thought that I don't know who told me. It must have been somebody not of authority then, that the punt option went away after the 10U. That's actually something that I would like to see. I mean, I feel like in 12U these kids are mature enough. I mean, look at Lawrence. They just kicked a 2-point PAT. If they can do that, I think that they can punt, because that's a crucial part of football, special teams. Ball came out. Who's got it? Lee falls on top of it for a loss of 4. You just heard the audible gasps of every soul in the crowd on the home side as Lee ends up picking up his own fumble. Just looked like a missed exchange that time as Noble Rogers kind of shoveled the ball forward. Again, the ground or the ball shouldn't be all that wet. We did have overnight rain, if you recall, from around midnight to 6 a.m., so it was pretty damp this morning. But the 8U game didn't have many troubles with ball handling and ball security. The 10U game had a decent amount, and now this game seeming like it's going to have even more of it. Lee in the shotgun, fires a pass. This is deep down the sideline. Contact. Lawrence does not get a whistle there. Everybody wanted a pass interference call, but they don't call it, and it'll be 2nd and long as breaking up that time is, I couldn't tell the jersey number. That is the QB, Michael Kenny Jr. And the pass was intended for Amir Givens. I mean, that was just a slow developing pass right there. You're not going to see a lot of arm velocity in this 12U level, except for the best of the best. I mean, if you're talking about like a Frank Horst type, maybe. But in this league, in this age level, passing is really used as a moniker for accuracy, not really for velocity, because those kids might not be able to catch a line drive ball coming right at them. Here's Lee again, lets another one fly. More contact, catches it. Oh my, what a catch. Bryant Council somehow came down with it, and they've got offensive pass interference. Ooh. This is going to knock them all the way back. Wow. So the pass was caught again by Lawrence's Bryant Council, who has been fantastic so far. They're back at their own 32. First down markers 1.5 miles away, and now whistles. Did we have a penalty flag, or did Lawrence call a timeout? Lawrence's coach is out on the field. Referees are actually going to discuss the penalty here. It's against Lawrence, that's what we know. 66 seconds left in the half. Lawrence's coach coming out. I don't know if he's trying to plead his case or whatever, but I'm sure they're still not thrilled about that offensive PI call. We'll have the replay queued up in just a second. We'll take a look at it. Again, the replays that we do, I'm not trying to, divide or, try to make a martyr out of anybody. But, when we have these replays, it's just a way of saying, listen, we'll let you be the judge. How do you want to look at it? Lawrence's coach still talking, though. And, again, I would imagine they're just trying to get an explanation, and now Lawrence is going to call a timeout. So they gave the 2 cents to the referees, and now they give their 2 cents to the players. Let's take a look here at this offensive pass interference call. I'm going to slow this down a little bit more. I'm going to slow it down to, let's see, about half speed here. See if we can reset this. So, I like the pass. Yeah, I see it. He grabbed him a little bit by his shoulder, almost by the horse collar. It was close. It was, to be fair, to be entirely fair, that was close. But I think that definitely was grounds for offensive pass interference. But again, I had my camera zoomed down. I wasn't looking too well. That's why we look at what we do. So Lawrence has 3 timeouts remaining. Bellmawr has 2. But still on the air.
I know, but you're getting surgery. I don't get special shit. They're pumping them with something.
Lawrence 8, Bellmawr 0.
I had the laparoscopic, so it's like, yeah, 3 dots, 3 little dots.
Third and a long ways out. Ball was low. Lee is going to let another one fly. His receiver didn't see it. Oh, there's more contact. That one doesn't get called. Again, just got to imagine, it just kind of came in a little late there. But Lawrence now, their 3rd straight pass attempt. Their last one went out for pass interference on the offense, which they would have had a first down if it wasn't called. But Lawrence is going to go for the punt option. We've got under a minute in the half, and well, ton of different ways to represent the Cardinals. There was an Arizona Cardinals flag on the far sideline, and now look at what's emerging there. That looks like a Louisville Cardinals flag. I want to see it turn over in the wind there. Yep, that's the look at that. That's the Louisville Cardinals flag. Just got to imagine the FedEx driver shipping an Arizona Cardinals flag and a Louisville Cardinals flag to Mercer County. Thinking, man, this man loves ACC football and the NFC West. But instead, it's just for these Lawrence Cardinals, who lead by 8 with 47 seconds left. Bellmawr taking over from the opposing 47 after the punt option. Just over a 4-minute drive, 4 minutes, 13 seconds for Lawrence, the time of possession. Michael Kenny Jr. is going to take it himself. No, they fake it. That was a fantastic fake. That sold all of us up there as a rush to the left side. Michael Kenny Jr. sold it really well and was able to buy a couple of yards out of it. Again, Bellmawr has 2 timeouts remaining. They will receive the ball to start the second half, so they may stay conservative on this one. 20 seconds remaining. They don't have a whole lot of time, but they might not be playing that urgently with the fact that they don't want to take any risks. First down markers at the 36-yard line. They've got 8 seconds left. They're just going to try to go all the marbles in one basket. It's a backwards pass. We've got a flea flicker. Hello! Deep! Almost picked off. Lawrence came in at the last second. That's not pass interference, is it? No, it's not. That's the end of the first half. Bellmawr wanted a call. That was not pass interference. I'm sorry. But at the end of the first half, it's the Cardinals 8 and the Purple Eagles 0 as a last-ditch effort for the flea flicker. Passed by number 38, Dominic Accardo. Falls up short. We'll be back in 10 minutes with The Cardinals 8 and the Eagles 0.
Two minutes remaining.
In life, the road ahead is full of possibilities.
May is Mental Health Awareness Month. It is the responsibility of all of us to make sure that our friends, family, and anybody who we hold dear in our lives is feeling well.
The problem with spotting mental health issues is that the symptoms aren't that obvious. Just because someone is okay or appears okay on the outside doesn't mean that they're okay on the inside.
It's important that if they are in distress, that they call the right people and they get the help that they need.
And it is very important that we treat each other with respect, regardless of who you are or where you come from. But it is just as important that we treat ourselves with respect, regardless of the situation going on in our lives.
If you're in distress, you can call this number, 988, or you can visit any of these websites if you're not in distress, but would like to learn more information about mental health awareness and research.
Book Dog Pro Wrestling for your next event or outing for the greatest action that New Jersey Pro Wrestling has to offer. Any place, any time, any setting, Dog Pro Wrestling will bring the action to you, and you won't want to miss it for moments like this. But don't just take it from me. Take it from Max Mundo, the Dog Pro Wrestling ambassador.
This is Max Mundo with Dog Pro Wrestling. Are you a civic organization, sporting club looking to fundraise? Then look no further to Dog Pro Wrestling. We do grand openings, corporate events, and much more.
And why not from some of the wrestling talent themselves?
I'm Vinny the Fixer, and I'm the champion of Dog Professional Wrestling. If you want to book the best, come see us. We're the cream of the crop. We'll come to any fundraiser you can think of. Just name the place and we'll show up.
This is the upstanding Dylan Mesh, and for the entirety of my professional wrestling career, dog wrestling has been a mainstay for where I like to wrestle. So you can believe me when I say that it is quality. And I'm upstanding. I'm the only opinion you need.
Yeah! It's your boy Gabriel Hodder here with my man Matthew Oman, and if you want your events to be all fight, no flight,
then book Dog Wrestling so you can witness true primal fear. Woo!
In life, the road ahead is full of possibilities, but to navigate it safely, you need the right skills. Harper Driving School is the premier driving school serving Gloucester, Salem, and Camden counties. With experienced instructors, many of whom are teachers in local schools, we are dedicated to your success and will help you master the road with confidence. With an over 95% success rate of students passing their road test on their first try, you know your student will be in good hands while embarking on a huge step of their young adult lives, all while avoiding the lines at the DMV and getting insurance discounts.
We chose Harper, and so should you.
Two minutes remaining. 4 fouls on St. Joe's. One more and it's a bonus, which would greatly help Gloucester Catholic. The moving green guard! It's a one-point game just like that!
She misjudged it. Got over her head and
this place is going nuts.
Got a chance to be 3 bases to Spire. She's flying around third. Here comes the throw to the plate. It is not in time. What a way to kick off the semifinal with an inside the park home run.
St. Joe's has 2 timeouts remaining. Gloucester Catholic still has 3.
After 2026, lights up the scoreboard.
Here we go. Mascaro pulls up. He goes for 3. 6 points. Jack Mascaro has tied the game with 90 seconds remaining. How will the Wildcats respond?
To end the day for Luke Pokrovsky. Little pop-up, first base side, he calls for it. And for the first time in 33 years, the Charlotte Cougars will hoist the trophy and face Middlesex on Monday. 4-3. Cougars win it. And in the battle of green and gold, the trophy stays true with the visitors. What a finish! And Shalleck will pack their bags for Middlesex and the Blue Jays when the weekend turns around to Monday. Coach Epplite, he's, again, one time leaving the bases loaded is frustrating enough, doing it twice in a row. Oh, how about this? Line drive. He's throwing it around the infield. They're going to throw him out at first. He's out. I have never seen that before. That is a 5-4-3 ground out because the third baseman thought he caught it. The home plate umpire said no, so he threw it around the infield and then got the out at first anyway because the batter thought he was out.
The batter stopped. The third baseman thought
Everybody
he caught
stopped.
it, and it touched.
And Argabright with a full count. Outfielders in communication for the Quakers. Everyone's looking around in a tie game, bottom of the sixth. The 3-2 payoff. Ground ball. It's going to get over the head of Tolbert into left field. That's a base hit. 2-run score. Argabright delivers when asked. 5-3. Alex Argabright has given the Golden Eagles a 5-3 lead in the bottom of the sixth inning.
So after the holding call to be 1st and 20, as now rolling out to the right side, he's got a little bit of room to run on a QB rush. He's going to get a first down. There's no flags, and how about this for 61 yards? Anthony Gaetano with a QB rush that works to perfection. He hugs the sideline, and Anthony Gaetano gets the scoring started for the Red Hawks at 7-6.
Jack Mostero, 2 for 3 with a strikeout, a double, and a single. Looking to play hero. He's going to line this one into right center field, and that's going to drop. That's going to do it if they don't get a throw down. Mostero's going to second, and Danza's coming home. Sectional champions, Gloucester Catholic. They do it in a walk-off fashion as GC with Mostero playing hero. An unbelievable perfect. Comeback. It's Lawrence 8 and Bellmawr 0. Lawrence still keeping up with, I guess you could say, his tradition, if you will. They have not allowed a single point this season. He's got to be careful on that line there. That kickoff team, the left side, definitely a close jump in the line there. Bellmawr, who had the last possession in the first half, they do return. And starting the third, they'll be at looks like about the 30. Lawrence scored first. Well, as it's 8-0, I guess they're the only team to score, but a 4-yard touchdown midway through the second quarter by Bryant Council. Briefly, in a few moments, we will read off the rosters for both teams, as we have been for all of the games today. Pitched back, a deep pitch to Zandre Edwards. Lawrence chasing hard. They sent him out of bounds cleanly, but behind the line of scrimmage for a loss of about 3 yards. Starting off with the Lawrence roster, as we mentioned in the first game, they organized their roster alphabetically by first name, so the numbers are going to be all out of whack. I apologize. Amir Givens, number 3. Aaron Ingram, number 32. Aubrey Charles, number 14. Aurelio Ortiz, number 53. Aiden Grant, number 2. Bryant Council, number 12. He scored that first and only touchdown. Corey Balcom, number 82. Devin Keith, number 68. Dominic Pridgeon, number 55. Ethan Heller, number 27. Gavin Bruno, number 0. Jamal Bonhomme, number 33. Jackson Ricks, number 67. Jaden Castro, number 53. Another rush by Bellmawr gets snuffed out by that strong defensive line. And that is number 67 on the tackle, Jackson Ricks. You know, he's a 12-year-old, and he's wearing number 67. He's got to be a popular talk of the town when he's got that jersey on. I mean, I'm just saying. He's got to be a popular teammate to have that jersey number. It's almost like the captain's wearing number 1. That's your second highest honor, is getting to wear the number of the month, if you will. It feels like the number of the year at this point. I know. I'm pandering here. Third and long. Kenny Jr. drops back. It's a line drive pass. Good spiral and out of the hands. Incomplete, intended for, broken up by number 33, Jamal Bonhomme. And it'll be 4th and 12 for the Purple Eagles. We do have a penalty against Lawrence. Ooh, roughing the passer. And with that being 15 yards, that's going to be a first down. Lawrence coach is not thrilled about that on the sideline. I don't think I got a good angle of it. Sometimes with this body language, you can't tell if they're not thrilled about the call or if they're just not thrilled that one of their players did it. First and 10, so we get a new set of downs from the 45. They send Edwards in motion on a deep end around. Now they fake it to Kenny. Lawrence read that well, and they're only going to get about 2 yards on it. I think if they played any other team, they would have had a much better shot at getting more yardage out of that. But Lawrence, again, with a really good snap read, as they've had pretty much all night. Lawrence probably would be ahead more in this game if they didn't make more mistakes. They've lost the ball a few times. I think they've been a little bit irresponsible in the passing game, but that's stuff that they can work on. That's stuff that they can kink out. It's 2nd and 8. Kenny Jr. on the rush. Two minutes gone in the third quarter. Here from a chilly Saturday evening / afternoon. I mean, I say evening, it's 3 o'clock. The sun's going to set in an hour, and the lights are already on. As the rush up the middle, Lawrence again reads it super well. Running up the middle, Lawrence closing those gaps quickly. And it'll be 3rd and 8. Closing out the Lawrence roster, we said Justin Hoyle, number 19, Calvin Kassan, number 6, Kamau Lee, the quarterback, number 11, Cameron Rogers, number 58, Kendrick Taylor, number 4, Lennon Gaines, number 20, Leon Cook, number 92, Noble Rogers, number 5, Rafael Forrestal, number 9, Tyon Cherry, number 23, and then the last two, Zaire Campbell, number 9, and Zachary Lampley, number 8. After this play, we'll start introducing the Bellmawr Purple Eagles. And they would be able to do the punt option, but not from this spot on the field. It would have to be from behind the 45, which they're about 2 yards ahead. So if all else fails, we'll have to see where Bellmawr can force themselves into. Lawrence running 2 high up safeties. Cutting towards the middle. Kenny Jr. on the rush. He's got a first down. And he will get up to, looks like the 43. It's enough for a first down, but penalty. Think that was a hold. I didn't catch the call. It's against Bellmawr. And what would have been a first down by Michael Kenny Jr. gets called back. So it'll be 3rd and long as Bellmawr, they were excited. It's such a universal feeling when you watch a football game. Your fans get excited because you got a first down, and then reality very quickly sets in. And all the eyes laser in on the penalty flag on the field. And in that situation, Bellmawr went from 100 to 0 right there with Michael Kenny rejoining the offensive huddle.
Let's go, Bellmawr! Come on!
3rd and long. Just shy of 20 yards at a first down marker. They send Caden Van Camp in motion. The handoff to Edwards on the right side. He'll get up to the 44, so making up a good bit of the difference there, a gain of 9. And that'll bring them within 10 yards of the first, but they are behind the 45, so if they choose... Fourth and 11, referees are discussing here. It looks like Bellmaur's going to keep the offense on the field. As we mentioned, Lawrence, 210 points scored, 0 points allowed. Unprecedented offensive efficiency and dominance by the Lawrence Cardinals. This team traveling 45-plus minutes to get down here to Camden County to Paul Sixth High School. It's a beautiful facility, one of the best I've visited. I've been here a few times for soccer, handful of times for youth football. We were here last year, same time last year for championships. But Bellmaur's offense still running, 4th and 10. Referees counting down the time. They send Edwards in motion right to left. They're going to try to barrel it through. Not going to get there. And Lawrence will take over as kind of an odd selection there. Bellmawr definitely had a different vision as to what that play ended up resulting in. And it is a first down. Lawrence gets the turnover. Looks like they tried to just rush it up the gut with 9 yards to go. Almost like, I mean, that play would be a lot more appropriate if it was 4th and 2, 4th and 3. But on 4th and 9, you need a miracle to get that many yards unless they were going to fake it, and they did not. So whether it was a miscommunication or whatever, Lawrence takes over after a 6-minute drive. Now here comes another rush by the Cardinals. Here comes Bryant Council. No flags. And into the end zone comes the Cardinals. Bryant Council, first play, 46 yards. And he's in the end zone for a second dance. 14-0. As the Cardinals might split a double with the Bellmawr Purple Eagles. It's not over by any means, but 2 scores versus a team that has not allowed a score all season, not even a score, a single point. The celebration settling in a bit early, but Lawrence on a good fast track here. They're going to bring out the field goal unit again, try to make this 16-0. I mean, if you can consistently make field goals at the 12U level, that's almost like a cheat code. Zaire Campbell, the kicker. Holding is number 23, Tyon Cherry. 4:28 to play. Low snap. Almost got blocked, and it's wide. Wide left. So the 2-point conversion is no good, and Lawrence stays on the board. It's 14 for the Cardinals, 0 for the Purple Eagles, as this 56-yard rush by Bryant Council gave the Cardinals a 14-point lead. We'll take a quick break. All right, go ahead. Just saw that replay there of the 56-yard touchdown by Bryant Council. Rafael Forestal. So, actually, I'm not sure because there are 2 number 9s on this roster. So it's either Rafael Forestal or Zaire Campbell. We might have to get a look at the jersey. Here comes the return by the Purple Eagles. Keeping an eye on Lawrence there is, yeah, there's some shoving going on here. Michael Kenny Jr. just gave a shove to Bryant Council at midfield. There's some jarring going on here between Council and Kenny. Surprised nobody saw that over there. It is returned. This is going to be brought back up to the 15. I wonder if somebody did see that exchange between Council and Kenny, and I wonder if that's what was called. Because there were 2 Bellmawr players and there was a Lawrence player that looked like they were jarring at each other, and then it resulted in Council and Kenny shoving each other right at midfield, but I didn't see any of the referees looking in that direction, so either something was called or it was unrelated to that incident. And we now line up inside the 10-yard line. Bellmawr at their own 8 from the left hash, and this is where they line up. Second time today, Bellmawr has had not the best positioning for a drive to start. It's not impossible. Think about Derrick Henry. He's had a 99-yard rushing score, but, you know, just looking at the bigger picture, Bellmawr needs to score. 4:17 in the third. I think if they don't score here, Lawrence's confidence will just keep going up and up and up. They're going to pass. Kenny Jr., right side. Double coverage. It gets tipped up, and it's incomplete. And another flag. That had a feeling that was happening. Bryant Council had some more words. And this is going to continue to escalate if they don't clamp this down. A personal foul. You can see Lawrence now, about 4 or 5 of their players going over at that sideline. I mean, we just gotta have good sportsmanship here. I've covered way too many youth football games that have ended. I've covered at least 3 youth football games that ended early because of fighting. I mean, that is a culture problem. Youth football in any league, the first 2 games today were fine. They were perfect. They were clean. There was sportsmanship on both sides. Players were helping each other up. And now it seems like once we get to this 12U level, it's just getting worse. It's unsportsmanlike against Bellmawr. Again, I think they're going off of who instigates it, but they got to get this under control. I've said before that youth football, I don't care what league it is, I don't care what organization it is, there is a culture problem with sportsmanship. And that's because it's a reflection of what they see at the pros. They think they can get away with it. That's not a grief with the WJYFL, because I love the WJYFL. They wouldn't hire me if I didn't. So it's a matter of, well, Rush was on the right side. It's going to be a loss. They're all the way back at the 4-yard line. But my rant is mostly over. I'm just saying that it doesn't matter what league it is. I've worked for countless different youth football leagues. There is always going to be a sportsmanship problem the older these kids get. And then it comes down to the culture after that. You know, how do you teach these kids? And there's another personal foul now on Lawrence. So there's going to be a little bit of everything until this settles down with 4 minutes to play in the third. So after Bellmawr had an unsportsmanlike conduct call against them, they're going to line this one up after Lawrence's personal foul. So one going each way, almost as if it didn't happen. They're back at the 19. 1st and 10, new set of downs, new day for both sides. In a 14-0 game, Lawrence on the defensive side, they're winning this one. 2 touchdowns by Bryant Council, both on rushes. Flag was called behind the line of scrimmage. Kenny's pass to the flat to the right is caught. Taken down, tackle by Amir Givens. But let's see what this penalty flag's about. We've seen a lot of them this drive, and that's going to continue to slow down this game. Well, it has to be an illegal formation, because if it was a false start, the play would not be allowed to continue. So it must be an illegal formation against Bellmawr. Trying to look at it now. I'm trying to see if they had too many men in the backfield. Oh, yeah, they didn't. One of the guys, yeah, they didn't have enough guys on the line. That was the problem. So it was an illegal formation call. So many penalty flags. Feels like Salem and Glassboro from a few weeks ago. If you remember that game, we had 47 penalty flags in that game. In a 35-0 win for Glassboro over Salem. Congratulations to them, by the way. They beat Burlington City. They're headed to MetLife Stadium for a rematch in the Group 1 state final versus Cedar Grove. Beat them 44-8 last night. Bellmawr rushed to the left side. Kenny's handoff is going to get stopped by Corey Balcom. And Lawrence just continuing to get that confidence up. I mean, it's one thing to – my philosophy is I'm fine if you talk the talk. But you have to walk the walk. You have to back it up with something. And Lawrence is right now backing it up. They're leading this game by 2 scores, and they're getting a lot of stops on defense. They are proving why they deserve a seat at the table with 210 unanswered points from August to November. Lawrence's stop brings Bellmawr to 2nd and 20+. First down markers at the 29-28, and they're backed up to the 8. So guess it is 2nd and 20. Michael Kenny Jr. going back out to the offensive front with Bellmawr huddling in their own end zone. After this play, we will start to read off the names of the Purple Eagles roster for their representation. Council lining up as a high safety. He's been really good as an efficient safety. 2 receivers and a tight end to the left of the quarterback of Michael Kenny Jr. Snap in the shotgun. They throw to the right side. Pass is incomplete. Pass was intended for number 4, Zandre Edwards. And it's now going to be 3rd and long, 3rd and 20. Reading off the Purple Eagles roster, we have number 1, Nicholas Riccardi. Number 2, Ioni Ortiz Garcia. Number 3, Charlie Pierce. Number 4, Zandre Edwards. Number 5, Rocco Colucci. Number 7, Tommy Lego. Number 8, Jason Hull. Number 9, Michael Kenny Jr. Number 10, Caden Van Camp. Number 11, Mason Donnelly. Number 12, Dazia Hamilton. Number 13, Sincere North. Number 15, Alessandro Beck Blair. Number 17, Braden Rabena. Number 25, Ira Tienkin. Number 26, Debo Collins, as he's referred to. 27, Tucker Lego. Number 30, Tristan Seifert. And with the crowd standing, we'll wait until after this play. 4 wide receivers coming out. Pass almost got tipped. Lawrence defense read it really well. Pass was intended for Edwards, and it falls short. And it'll be 4th down and long. And really, I don't see any world where Bellmawr doesn't go for the punt option here with 4th and 20 from inside their own 10-yard line, and they do go for the punt option. So with 1:46 to play in the third, Lawrence will get backed up 25 yards with a possession change in what's been a relatively low-scoring affair. Clock stops with 1:31 to play. This broadcast is brought to you by Harper Driving School. Over 90% of students who take their New Jersey State driving test with Harper pass on the first attempt with some of the most experienced instructors in the state of New Jersey. Visit Harper Driving School today to book your appointment at 614 Lambs Road in Pittman at Suite 4 of the Total Turf Complex. And by Rowan College of South Jersey, New Jersey's premier community college with over 50 associate's degree programs to get your college degree at a fraction of the cost. Visit rcsj.edu for registration and general information, as registration is open for the winter and spring semesters. Rush by Lawrence falls flat that time. Corey Balcom on the carry. But it's been an interesting game. Bellmawr has held their own, but Lawrence just sneaking their way through, really not allowing any leeway. By the way, if you're a fan of these sponsors that we have on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting, or if you're just a small business owner yourself who is interested in advertising with us, we have over 125,000 annual viewers and over 10,000 combined social media followers across Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Send us an email with an advertising inquiry at thedanwilkinsshow@gmail.com. That email is in the description of our YouTube video. And find out about our affordable advertising rates that get your business maximum exposure and maximum ROI on your business adventures in advertising with Dan Wilkins Broadcasting, the premier independent broadcaster of South Jersey athletics. 25 seconds remain in the third quarter. Lee with a handoff that's going to break through, emerging from the pile. I believe Balcom was on the carry. Tackle was made by number 7, Tommy Lego. And that will bring us to the end of the third quarter. So on a brisk Saturday afternoon from Paul Six High School, as the games get more intense, these stands getting more packed and packed. It might have been 20% full at the start. Oh, we've got a flag. We had a flag come in. There was a little bit of jarring from somebody, and the refs are going to call it against whoever instigated it. And looking at the body language of the sidelines, I think this might be against – I can't tell who this is against. This might be Lawrence. We'll stay here for just a moment as they walk across the field. That flag came in after the whistle hit 0. Let's see who this is on. Or are they going to announce it after they walk it across? Not sure. No, here we go. Here's the call. It is against Lawrence. Interesting call there. Again, I didn't really see it. Just curious of how it was instigated. We'll take a quick break. We go to the fourth here in Paul Six High School in Haddonfield, 14-0. Go ahead. fourth quarter. So as we went to break, the unsportsmanlike conduct call was called against Lawrence. And they will flip the field, but they're going to get knocked back 15 yards. They're going to get back. Oh, my goodness, this is a long way out. First and a long way. And now here comes another rush by Lawrence. They're going to get up to the 19-yard line. They're going to get it up to the 18. Another rush over the middle. And a gain of a handful here. So after going at 1st and 25 after the 15-yard unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, it'll bring us now to 3rd and about 7 from the 15. First down markers up at the 8-yard line. So if Lawrence gets another first down, they'll drop the sticks. Third and mid-range, handoff to Givens. Right side, breaking through. He will get up to around the 7-yard line. That looks like that's enough for a Lawrence first down. I think they might have to drop the sticks here. Referees are looking at it. And they'll bring this one up to the, oh, it's going to be short. Wow. About a yard short. 4th and 1. Fourth and 1. They go in the shotgun snap directly to Council, and he's into the end zone. Tip your cap to Bryant Council. He's got 3 scores on the day. As Bryant Council sends the Lawrence crowd on the visiting side into a frenzy. As it's now 20-0. The Cardinals going up by 3 scores. In this 12U championship game, the 125-pound division, as a rush of 8 yards. He's had rushes from 4, 56, and now 8. With 7:37 to play in the 4th, they will try their 3rd 2-point kick. They made the first, missed the second wide right. Again, Lawrence made their first. This is a good snap, but that kick is going to be shanked out to the left. And it'll now be Lawrence 20 and Bellmawr 0. 7:37 left in the 4th quarter. We'll take a quick break. back here in the fourth quarter. Lawrence sends this one away. That kick gets wide to the left, and Bellmawr keeps it in play. They return it at the 20. They're got about 10 yards on the return, and down by 20 points, 3 scores. It's Lawrence 20, Bellmawr 0. Lawrence looking like they could be the first to beat the Purple Eagles, who have gone 2-0 so far. As I said, we mentioned in the open, I said kind of candidly, I said if Bellmawr wins 2 out of the 4 championships today, it's a successful weekend. But they don't want successful. They want all 4 of those rings occupied. And, well, they had the first 2. Scored 35 versus Northern Burlington. Shut out the other Lawrence, 18-0 in the 10U game. But now the tables have been turned, and now Bellmawr is the team finding themselves shut out of the end zone. Bellmawr lining up, 7:30 to play in the fourth quarter. Dropping back, Kenny fires a pass, and it's picked off. A little shove after the play, but it's picked off by Amir Givens. 1 play and an interception. Lawrence, with a 4th score, could put this game out of reach. And the 160 team is waiting in the wings. They're practicing on the baseball field of Paul Sixth. Take a look at that interception real quick. As again, just 1 play. 1 play is all it takes, and Bellmawr lines this one up. It looked like it was good in principle, and then you could see that receiver on the right. Both teams have had a problem with throwing in the double coverage today, and in that situation you could see he missed his one receiver, and he just found a receiver on the wrong side, if you will. And that's where it lines up. 7:24, so only a 6-second drive. First and 10 from the 40. And whistles. False start on the offense against the Cardinals. I recently learned that you can actually have a false start called against the defense. And I actually saw it happen in an NFL game. I think it was the Steelers a couple weeks ago. They had a game where the defensive lineman on a field goal attempt. We'll pause for a second as that one goes to the right side. It's hard to storytell in football. I'm a baseball commentator through and through, so I'm used to rambling nonsensically for 3 hours. But, no, I mean, it was a Steelers defensive lineman who mimicked the cadence of the field goal by clapping. And by that, the referees picked it up and they called it a false start. I believe they either called it a false start or a delay of game. Either way, it was a play that I only thought could be called against the offense, but the tables got turned. And speaking of tables turned, Lawrence turning the tables. Although if you're an independent observer of this game, you probably could have seen this outcome coming. When you see a big fat 0 next to the column for points allowed, what else can you expect besides more of the same? Corey Balcom on the right side. Balcom is going to get up to the 42, and now there's a flag that came in. That came in well after Balcom was down, and again, just a battle of – it's a war of attrition where a lot of these players, they don't like each other, and they're going to actually wave off this flag. I was going to say it was going to turn into a battle of, kind of a lack of discipline when it comes to these two teams. And listen, if you get the championship ring on your finger without any discipline, that's one thing. But if you lose a championship because you don't have that discipline, that's a whole different can of worms, and it's not one, neither is it a precedent that you want to set. First and 10, they're at the 38-yard line. 37, it looks like. But again, I might be coming off as a little bit harsh. Again, I'm just an independent observer. I have no skin in the game. I am not favoring Bellmawr or Lawrence, and in the next game I won't be favoring Bellmawr or Hopewell Valley. I try to call these games straight down the middle, and one of my traits of broadcasting is when I see something that doesn't align with how I think the game should be played, I'm going to say it. It might not make everybody happy, but it should be known. You know, I've watched so many football games that have gone on without a hitch. No pushes, no shoves, not even a bad word said to anybody. And then I've seen games that are the polar opposite. I've seen games that have ended early because teams can't control themselves. And this game's in the middle of the road. It's a little bit clean. It's a little bit rough. We've seen unsportsmanlike penalties. We've seen personal fouls. But it by no means is this the worst disciplined football game I've ever seen. No. It could be better. It could be worse. And I understand these are kids. We were all 12 years old once. We all know that in a competitive environment, in a championship, sometimes the bigger picture gets away. As Lawrence on 2nd and 5 gets a handful of yards up to the 30. And it's 3rd and short. Let's finish off talking about that Bellmawr 12U roster. We've got Asher Loisner, number 33, Jackson Mertz, number 37, Dominic Accardo, number 38, Lee Taggart III, number 41, Billy Lynn, number 44, Patrick Gardner, number 52, John Hallboy, number 56, Maximus Garvin, number 59, Mason Bayer, number 62, Dante Vanell, number 69, Giovanni Mazzara, number 78, Christopher Hipple, number 81, Dominic Russamano, number 84, Andrew Garvin, number 88, and then the last three before we go back, Braden Gill, number 97, Landon Shands, number 98, and Enzo Samaro, number 99. First down markers at the 29. Ball came out. I don't think he would have gotten it anyway, and it's going to be 4th down. Lawrence, whether or not the ball came out, Lawrence retains it. They got nothing out of it. They're back at the 30. And they're 2 yards shy of their destination. On the right side on 4th and short, they get the first down, and with under 3 minutes left, they may be starting to put this one away.
Remaining in the 4th quarter. Once again, folks, one more game to go on this championship Saturday. Our 14U team will be facing Hopewell Valley. So stick around for that one.
1st and 10 from the 18-yard line. 3 minutes left to play. Lawrence was able to scamper out of bounds, so the clock is stopped. But Lawrence is inside the red zone. Line to gain is at the 9. It's the last time those sticks will be up as here comes the rush. Flag comes in near side. Spinning around. Bellmawr is going to have a hard tackle here. They bring him down. Rush by number 8, Zachary Lampley. And a Bellmawr player is down. And immediately attention being received there. Kind of missed all of that at the end of the play. So with 2:39 left in the 4th, it's 20 for Lawrence, 0 for Bellmawr. Bellmawr, again, all 4 programs represented today. They close out the nightcap with the 160-pound matchup between the Hopewell Valley Bulldogs and the Bellmawr Purple Eagles. We hope you've enjoyed today's content. Again, I'm Dan Wilkins. I was joined earlier in the day by Javier Harris. I'm currently joined by Ben Wilden. If you have any questions or comments about today's broadcast, please drop me a line at thedanwilkinsshow@gmail.com. That Bellmawr player does walk off under his own power.
Don't let him do that to you, Debo. Let's go!
tackling College, number 26, shaken up on that play. Otherwise, that is Devo, I believe.
But yeah, big thanks to Russell, the commissioner of the WJYFL, everybody who's had us come out here today. We had a lot of fun with this last year. Had a lot of great games last year too. Some more low-scoring affairs, but this looks like this is going to be the third game in a row to be a shutout. Not knocking it or anything. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be covering a lot more football than we did last year with our high school and youth endeavors. As it's 1st and 10 from the 28-yard, or rather 1st and 20 from the 28-yard line after the hold. Wow, he got trucked down that time. The rush by Balcom falls short. Tackle was made by number 59, being Maximus Garvin. Timeout called by the Cardinals. I believe that's the first timeout either team has called in this half. As we've got 1:47 to play in the fourth quarter. It's the Cardinals 20 and the Purple Eagles 0. Go ahead. Lawrence 20, Bellmawr 0. First time out of the half was called. Lawrence has 3, Bellmawr has 4 remaining. For those just tuning in, if you're waiting on the 160-pound game, or if you plan to watch the 160-pound game later tonight, remember you do have to click out of this live stream, go back to the live tab, and click on the 160-pound live stream for the next game. Number 0, Gavin Bruno on the carry. Getting a handful of yards, trying to break up whatever's going on there. And it'll be third down. They're from the 30-yard line. They are 20-plus yards out from getting a first. But does it really matter for the Cardinals? They're a minute and a half away from getting a champion down. And funny enough, Lawrence has never won on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. They're 0-4, but that looks like that could change in their 5th appearance. They've actually appeared in 3 different sports. They've appeared in football, they've appeared in soccer at the Breakthrough Showcase in West Hampton, and they've appeared in baseball as well back in 2024. The rush, the ball came loose, and it goes behind the line of scrimmage, but again, Lawrence might just try to wash that one away. Because remember, these games come down to the culmination of a full season's work, and the Lawrence Cardinals will avoid giving Bellmawr a full hand of fingers and rings. The Lawrence Cardinals are going to win the 12U WJYFL Championship. 20-0. A dominant performance by our player of the game, Bryant Council. I don't think there's anybody that you could give the player of the game to besides Council. Number 12, 3 touchdowns, 2 from inside 10 yards, a 4-yarder and an 8-yarder, and then a 56-yarder to seal the deal in the middle of all that. He did a fantastic job, also lined up as a high safety in that game, and you can see, despite all the tensions that were on the field, a lot of it comes down to the competitive spirit of these two teams, and it all ends with handshakes at the 50-yard line, as it should, with the Lawrence Cardinals waving the flag of their Arizona counterparts with a 20-point shutout win over the Bellmawr Purple Eagles. They'll go to their respective sidelines, and the 160s of both programs will wait in the wings. The Hopewell Valley Bulldogs and the Bellmawr Purple Eagles. Oh, hello. Oh, my goodness. I wish my camera got that. There was a kid that just backflipped onto the field. That would have been a Sports Center highlight if we had that one. they're coming out with authority. Let's see if they can back it up. 20-0 Lawrence. Bellmawr is going to look for, at best, 3 of 4. We'll see y'all in a little bit.